Because she knows one thing that the world can never take from her: her faith. And if you ever come across a woman like that, you'll see what real power looks like. Not loud, not angry, not bitter, just calm, composed, and quietly powerful in her peace. So if you're wondering why she walks like nothing affects her, stay with me, because by the time we're through, you'll understand why storms can't shake a woman with purpose. A woman who truly trusts doesn't chase peace, she becomes it. She doesn't need the world around her to calm down just so she can feel okay. She doesn't need things to go her way to feel at ease. Why? Because she's tapped into something deeper than comfort, deeper than praise, deeper than stability. She's grounded in inner stillness. And don't get it twisted. This stillness is not weakness, it's not passiveness, it's not ignoring reality, it's power, quiet, and unmovable strength. Life brings chaos to everyone. Nobody gets a free pass through the storm. But while some people fall apart, panicking, running in circles, trying to fix things outside their control, she remains steady. They argue, they shout, they wear themselves out chasing clarity that never shows up. But the woman who trusts, she stays still. Not because she doesn't know what's going on, not because she's lucky, but because she's made peace with truth. Storms pass, trust endures. While others try to control everything, she has already let go. While others demand answers, she moves with quiet confidence. While the world spins, she stays centered, standing on a foundation that doesn't shake just because life does. You want to see real strength? Watch a woman who doesn't blink when everything's falling apart. That's not pride, that's alignment. She's not shaken by setbacks. She doesn't crumble when people switch up. She saves her energy instead of giving it away to every unexpected twist. Why? Because she's learned that peace isn't a reaction, it's a choice. She decided to stay unbothered. She decided to trust. She decided to release the need to control it all. And from that choice, her stillness is born. This kind of peace isn't something you learn in a day. It's built quietly, built through heartbreaks that taught her how to rebuild. It's built through being overlooked, being misunderstood, waiting on prayers that seemed ignored, hearing silence on the other end of the phone, and loving deeply without return. Still, she kept showing up. She kept her faith. She kept growing. She doesn't panic when people leave. She doesn't beg anyone to stay. She doesn't lose sleep over what's out of her hands. Not because she doesn't care, but because she understands. She knows what's meant for her will stay, and what leaves was never hers in the first place. That kind of trust, it frees her from emotional cages. That's why she's calm, and don't mistake her calm for quietness. Her presence speaks. Her energy changes the room. Her peace makes people uneasy. Not because she thinks she's better, but because she's untouchable. There's no drama to pull her into, no insecurity to poke, no fear to control her with. She's not moved by rumors, noise, or scare tactics. If she doesn't react with anger, she elevates. She doesn't compete, she aligns. Stillness is her approach. It's how she keeps her spirit safe, her energy preserved, and her path protected. She doesn't need to react. She doesn't owe anyone an explanation. She knows her worth. She doesn't lose herself just because others have. She's learned how to stay still, how to keep calm, how to stay grounded while the world tries to spin around her. Like a tree in the storm. Its branches may sway, the rain may pour, but the roots, they hold firm. That's her. Life may shake everything around her, but it can't touch what's inside. She's connected to something bigger than her situation. Her peace doesn't come from outside circumstances, it flows from within. That's what sets her apart. People who don't trust are always chasing calm, chasing people, chasing approval, but She radiates. She doesn't chase. She knows what belongs to her will arrive in due time. She already knows she's enough. That's why she can walk through the fire and not carry its scent. That's why she can sit in silence and still be heard. That's why nothing, absolutely nothing, can truly shake her. Of course, life tests her. She's human. She'll feel pain. She'll face pressure. But even then, she finds her way back to that quiet center, that sacred space, where fear loses its voice and anxiety loses its grip. That's where she finds her power. Again, this woman doesn't feel the need to prove herself. She doesn't need to explain her worth. She doesn't chase connections or beg for love. She stays rooted. Because in stillness, there is clarity. In stillness, there is wisdom. And in stillness, there is unmatched strength. Her calm is her shield. Her peace is her response. Her trust, that's her armor. The world may never understand how she keeps glowing, smiling, rising, even in the middle of chaos. But she gets it. Because when a woman is truly at peace with herself and who guides her path, she doesn't need the storm to settle. She is the calm. And that's what makes her unstoppable. She doesn't shout. She doesn't over-explain. She doesn't argue with people who choose not to understand. She lets her silence do the work. And believe this, her silence says more than words ever could. There's something powerful about a woman who knows when to speak and when to stay silent. Not because she's afraid, not because she's weak, but because she's wise. She knows not every fight deserves her voice. Not every insult needs a comeback. Not every situation is worth her energy. She's figured out that the louder the world becomes, the more she must protect her stillness. And that stillness, it's sacred. It's not to be performed. It's not for validation. It's hers. She's endured too much to let small minds and silly drama disturb her peace. She's been through fires others can't even imagine. She's fought quiet wars, cried silent tears, come back from pain that would have broken others. So no, she doesn't raise her voice. She raises her standards. She doesn't chase after validation. She doesn't beg to be seen. She doesn't prove herself. Because her presence is enough. Her energy speaks. Her peace echoes louder than any words. People may not know what it is when she walks into a room, but they feel it. They know she's not one to mess with. Because her silence carries weight. Her calm earns respect. She doesn't need to shout to be noticed. She doesn't need to fight to be valued. That's the magic of a woman rooted in trust. She knows every battle doesn't need her presence, and sometimes the strongest move is to stay quiet. Let them talk, let them guess, let them throw shade. She's not reacting. Because she knows silence holds a power that noise can't touch. When people try to provoke her, she stays unmoved. When they try to trigger her, they find no buttons left to press. She's mastered herself. That's what makes her unshakable. They expect a response. They expect tears, defense, rage, but she's not giving them that anymore. That's growth. That's elevation. That's understanding the cost of peace and refusing to pay it for anyone else. She doesn't explain herself anymore. She's not looking for approval. She's living in her truth. She's walking at her purpose. And when you know who you are, you don't need to repeat it over and over. She understands the value of letting go. She knows peace costs something. Often people, patterns, and places that no longer serve her. That's why she walks away without making noise. That's why she disconnects without a scene. That's why she lets go without begging for closure. She's not clinging anymore. Not because she didn't care, not because she didn't love, but because she finally understood holding on to what drains her isn't love. It's self-abandonment. She's tired of carrying burdens that were never hers. So she releases, not with hate, not with anger, but with clarity, with maturity, with a heart that has made peace with reality. She's not begging anyone to stay. She's not chasing what's walking away. That version of her, the one that tolerated disrespect, that justified bad behavior, that tried to fix the broken, she's gone. She evolved. Now she sees the truth. Not what she hoped for, but what is. That's why she walks away without shouting. Not because she's weak, because she's wise. She's repeated the cycle too many times, poured too much into the wrong hands, given too much of herself to those who only took. At some point, something in her clicked, not in anger, but in realization. She realized the more she held on, the more she lost herself. And finally, she chose herself. And that choice, that's when everything changed. Her letting go doesn't mean she doesn't feel. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. But the difference now is she's no longer afraid of the pain. She's faced it before. She's walked through heartbreak and came out wiser. She's made it through disappointment and came out stronger. So she no longer fears losing. She understands that losing what isn't meant for her only clears the path for what is. That's why she can walk away without regret. You won't see her creating drama when she leaves. She's not about loud exits. She's not trying to prove anything. She's focused on protecting her peace. If something disturbs her calm, if someone no longer grows with her, if a situation always leaves her feeling drained, she steps away. And she doesn't look back. That kind of self-betray is rare. Because many people stay too long. They stay hoping things will improve. They stay out of guilt, fear, or old ties. But she's learned to embrace the discomfort of growth more than the comfort of dysfunction. She no longer needs to be needed. She doesn't have to fix everything. Her purpose now is to heal, to grow, and to keep moving forward. And sometimes that path is a solo one. Sometimes it means losing people she once thought would never leave. Sometimes it means starting again from nothing. But she's at peace with that now. She doesn't see endings as mistakes. She sees them as new directions. She doesn't view walking away as quitting. She sees it as rising. Because every time she lets go of what doesn't belong to her, she gets closer to what does. You can sense the change in her. She's lighter, more focused, more present. Because she's no longer carrying what's not hers. She's no longer stuck in places that make her feel small. She's no longer emotionally tied to what doesn't feed her soul. She's free, not because everything is perfect, but because she's finally aligned with her true self. There's a quiet beauty in that surrender. It's not about giving up. It's about releasing the false idea that holding on will change anything. It's about trusting that what's ahead is better than what's behind. It's about choosing peace over chaos, self-respect over attachment, and progress over comfort. And she's chosen all three. That's why her light shines different now. That's why her presence feels calm. She's not holding on out of fear anymore. She's not forcing anything that doesn't flow. She's not explaining herself to those determined to misunderstand her. She's simply moving with power and in silence. And if you ask her how she does it, she'll tell you it wasn't simple. She had to battle with herself. She had to unlearn years of pleasing others. She had to release the need to fix things that weren't hers to fix. But once she truly let go, she discovered that nothing feels better than peace. Nothing is more precious than self-worth. Nothing is more freeing than knowing you don't have to keep holding on to what's hurting you. So now, when things don't feel right, she doesn't force, she doesn't chase, she doesn't freeze. She lets go and moves forward with grace. Because the woman who trusts knows this: letting go isn't a loss, it's returning to herself. She's mastered the art of staying still in the middle of chaos. The world can be falling apart around her. People can talk behind her back. Life can throw storms her way, and still she stands firm. Not because the winds aren't real, but because her roots are deeper now. Her strength isn't based on ease, it's built on her choice to remain grounded even when life is shaky. She's trained her heart, her mind, and her emotions to stay calm when everything else is loud. That calmness, it didn't just appear. She earned it. She wasn't always like this. There were days when she reacted to everything, took it all personally, felt shaken by every careless word, but life taught her something powerful. Not everything needs her energy. Not everything deserves her reaction. She found that peace isn't given. It's built moment by moment, challenge by challenge. She's decided over and over to protect her inner world regardless of the outer one. When confusion shows up, she doesn't panic. When pressure rises, she doesn't break. She breathes, she watches, and she responds. If necessary, but never out of fear, never out of need. She knows the difference between a reaction and a response. Reactions are fast, emotional, scattered. Responses are calm, wise, intentional. And she always chooses the response. She's not about quick fixes or rushing into things from a place of panic. She takes her time because she knows storms pass. And most situations aren't as urgent as they seem. Most people just want to see her crack. They want her to lose control, to shout, to break. But she doesn't give them that. Her self-restraint is her quiet power. Her silence is her strength. She's not quiet because she's weak. She's quiet because she refuses to hand over her peace. That's what makes her different. She's not moved by opinions. She's not pulled in by drama. She's not shaken by noise. She's tuned in to a different voice now, the one inside her. And that inner voice tells her when to speak and when to be silent, when to act and when to wait, because she listens. She never looks desperate. Even when life is unclear, even when the road is hard, she walks with direction. That's what happens when you trust something deeper than what's visible. Her calm is its own kind of message. It says, I know who I am. I know my worth. I know where I'm headed. And people feel that, even in her silence, especially in her silence. That quiet certainty, that's what sets her apart. It's not arrogance, it's assurance. She doesn't need to argue to prove her power. She doesn't need to win every fight to be powerful. She's faced betrayal, pain, and loss, and still she's not bitter, she's wiser. Because the chaos didn't ruin her, it refined her. It taught her what's worth keeping and what's not. It taught her how to stay centered even when everything else is spinning, and now her calm can't be shaken. There's something powerful about a woman who can sit in a storm and still carry peace inside her. A woman who doesn't need to scream to be heard. A woman who moves with intention, not speed. She understands that real clarity comes from stillness, not from rushing, not from chaos. So she protects her stillness like a treasure. No fear, no gossip, no panic is allowed in. That's how she stays grounded. People may not get it. They may see her quiet and think she's weak. They may see her peace and think she's passive. Let them. Because she's not living to be understood. She's living to be aligned. And when you're aligned, you don't need noise to feel strong. You don't need applause to feel worthy. She's not the woman who explodes when upset. She's the one who watches quietly, chooses carefully, and speaks only when it's needed. She's the one who walks away rather than argue over things that don't matter. She's the one who knows when her silence speaks louder than any words. You want to see true strength? It's a woman who smiles after betrayal. A woman who remains composed when doubted. A woman whose heart stays soft in a world that's trying to make her hard. That's real strength. That's real discipline. And she's learned both while others get lost in the noise. She finds herself in the middle of it. She finds her power. She finds her steadiness. She finds her voice, even when she chooses not to use it. That's what makes her unshakable. That's what makes her unforgettable. She doesn't just live through storms. She becomes calm within them. And when they pass, she doesn't gloat. She doesn't say, "I told you so." She just keeps moving. With dignity, in silence, with confidence. But she understands something most don't. Stillness in chaos is the boldest show of power you can make. There's something unmovable about a woman who knows her value. Not the kind the world gives, but the kind that no one can take away. She doesn't wait to be seen before she knows her worth. She already knows. That's why she walks tall, speaks with truth, and moves with confidence. Nothing outside her controls how she feels inside. She's not chasing noise. She's not chasing approval. She doesn't need it, because when a woman fully accepts herself, she no longer waits to be chosen. She no longer tries to fit in rooms too small for her. She no longer shrinks to keep others comfortable. She stands tall, bold, with grace. That's her strength. In choosing to reclaim her identity. She's done letting the world decide her worth. Done letting temporary things define her permanent value. She no longer measures herself by the views of those who never truly knew her. She owns her worth now. And she wears it not to show off, but to guard her peace. She knows the cost of forgetting who she is. She's paid it. She's stretched herself trying to be enough. She's turned into someone else just to be accepted, but no more. She's not chasing belonging. She's focused on becoming. She knows that trying to fit in often means disappearing. And she's not here to disappear. She's here to shine, to lead, to take up space, even if she walks alone sometimes. And when she does walk alone, she's not afraid, because solitude is an emptiness. It's clarity. It's freedom. It means she's no longer surrounded by noise that keeps her from herself. In that silence, she reconnects, she listens, she heals. In doing so, she reinforces a truth the world tries hard to make women forget. You don't need to be picked to be valuable. When she steps into a space, her presence speaks louder than any words. It's not pride, it's alignment. She knows exactly who she is, so there's no need to prove a thing. She doesn't hurry to explain herself, doesn't try too hard, doesn't beg to be understood. She gives people the chance to truly see her, but she doesn't run after their attention. If they see her worth, great. If not, she keeps going. Her validation comes from within, not borrowed from anyone else. She doesn't compete. She doesn't compare. She understands that another woman's beauty, achievements, or light doesn't dim her own. In fact, she celebrates it because she's secure, and secure women don't tear others down. They lift, they support, they empower. Why? Because they are rooted. And when you're deeply rooted in your own value, insecurity has no place. She's no longer controlled by performance. She once believed she had to work harder, be louder, do more, just to feel like she mattered. But now she knows simply existing with intention is more than enough. Breathing is enough. Being is enough. She doesn't hustle for her worth anymore. She carries it with her. And that shift, it changes everything. It changes how she moves through relationships, how she handles work, and how she sees herself in the mirror. You won't catch her putting up with foolishness anymore. She doesn't allow disrespect, confusion, or halfway love. She's not mean, but she's clear. She's not cruel, but she is steady. She doesn't chase anymore, she chooses. And if someone no longer fits who she's become, she lets them go without anger. Why? Because she values her peace more than she fears their absence. That's growth. That's when you know you've matured. When you'd rather stand alone than sit with the wrong crowd. She's not looking for perfection. She's not faking like she has it all together. She has flaws, she slips up, she doubts herself sometimes, but she always finds her way back to her center, because her worth isn't built on how well she performs. It's built on her essence. And that essence is untouchable. It's not shaped by what's trending, not moved by opinions, not shaken by rejection. She speaks to herself differently now. She encourages herself. She forgives herself. She gives herself kindness in hard moments, and power in strong ones. She's become her own greatest support, and because of that, the world no longer has the power to break her. It might disappoint her, might delay her dreams sometimes, but destroy her? Never. There's real power in that kind of self-acknowledge, in that calm confidence. It's not just confidence, it's steadiness. She's built her foundation so strong that even life's biggest storms can't knock her down. And you see it not just in how she enjoys her wins, but in how she survives her losses. She doesn't fall apart when things get hard. She adjusts. She doesn't lose herself in chaos. She discovers more strength within it. This is what it looks like when a woman fully awakens to her own strength. When she stops searching and starts simply being. When she realizes that her worth was never something to earn. It was always there, waiting for her to believe it. And now that she does, there's no stopping her. Because a woman who knows her value moves differently. And no matter what comes her way, she won't lower her standards. She won't dim her shine. She won't second guess her value. She just keeps rising, quietly, confidently, and without apology, because she knows exactly who she is. And she's not going back. She doesn't just have peace, she defends it. She shields it like it's sacred. Because to her, it is. There comes a time in a woman's journey when she realizes peace isn't something you stumble upon, it's something you protect. It's not handed to you, it's fought for, it's built through hard choices, whispered prayers, doors that had to be closed, and the bravery to release what no longer fits. Her peace is not soft, it's fierce. It's been carved out through long nights and hard lessons. And now she's careful with who enters her world. Her time, her energy, her emotions, they're all guarded. Because she knows the true cost of giving those away to the wrong people. She's not taking chances with her peace anymore. She's preserving it. She's learned that not everyone deserves access to her. Some bring noise, some bring mess. And she's done exchanging her mental balance for temporary comfort. She doesn't answer every call. She doesn't get involved in every drama. She doesn't look for closure in places that never gave her peace to begin with. Some doors need to stay closed. Some pages don't need to be turned again. Not out of bitterness, but because she's healed. That healing brought clarity, and that clarity taught her to listen, not just to words, but to how things make her feel. If it feels heavy, draining, or off, it's not for her. And she no longer needs a reason to leave. She trusts her feelings, she trusts her instincts, because finally, she trusts herself. That's what peace looks like. It's not about being untouched. It's about being aligned. She knows her standards. She knows her boundaries. She knows what she'll welcome and what she'll walk away from. That's where her calm comes from, even in the middle of noise. You won't catch her freaking out when things get chaotic. She may stay quiet, but that silence, it's power. It's strategy. It's protection. It's the sound of a woman picking herself over the chaos. She no longer needs to prove her worth to those committed to misunderstanding her. That battle, she's laid it down. Her energy now goes to places where it's valued, not just tolerated. She doesn't argue with people who choose to stay small. She doesn't beg to be seen, If it robs her peace, it costs too much. To love her wife. She understands now, peace is the root of her power. When her mind is calm, her intuition speaks. When her heart is still, she knows what's right. She no longer makes choices from fear. She doesn't act on impulse. She pauses, she breathes, she prays, she thinks, and then she moves when it's time, when it's wise, when it's true. Some mistake her peace for weakness. They think her calm can be used. They confuse her silence with surrender. But they're wrong. A woman who guards her peace is powerful because she's not afraid to walk away. She's not afraid to break expectations. She's not afraid to grow past what once fit. She'll leave the table if respect is no longer served. And she'll do it gracefully, not walls. There's a difference. Walls block everyone.